first image shows Josephine Baker performing an African dance in scantily clad attire on September 27, 1925. 25 African-American dancers, singers, and jazz musicians left New York for Paris abroad. The SS Bulgaria. A few weeks later, they opened La Revue NGRE, a musical revue featuring dancer Josephine Baker, who quickly became the toast of Paris. The scant dress Baker performed an African dance routine is knocking all Paris service, noted a French journalist. Born in poverty, Astidot Louis, Baker soon opened up her own nightclub. She has Josephine in Paris, starred in movies, have noted with the rich and famous, and live in luxurious apartments in the Champs Elysees, where she kept a baby Jack. The 1920s, Dilby, the new area by President Herbert Hoover, witnessed the role of radio and the movies in forming global culture at home and abroad. American music, films, celebrities, and consumer products flooded the world as never before. As jazz and Josephine Baker's suggestive dances reflected, sexual mores also shifted. This new era was marked by the cultural conflict between innovation and tradition, between those who enthusiastically embraced change and social critics, and the region's leaders who decried the new culture as vulgar and immoral. On the second page, this 1928 advertisement featured two types of Fords available in Italy. Henry Ford adopted mass production techniques with the introduction of the moving assembly line in 1903. This method soon duplicated Fordism, allowed Ford to manufacture its Model T quickly, efficiently, and cheaply in its Highland Park, Michigan plant. Cars changed the ways Americans viewed consumption in fundamental ways. In the mid-1920s, Alfred P. Sloan, chairman of GM, attacked Ford's dominant market position by introducing new GM models every year. Sloan's notion of planned obsolescence boosted sales, luring consumers into purchasing new cars before their old ones wore out. GM also increased sales by offering installment purchasing and promoting the idea of a product later with different grades of cars pegged to different incomes. By 1927, two-thirds of car buyers use the installment plan, as they sometimes spend above their means to participate in the car craze. In late 1927, Ford responded to GM's innovations. The rollout of the more comfortable Model A replaced the Model T, resulted in a flurry of interest from the media and to the public. Next one is the advertisement. Reach for a lucky instead of a street. Introduced in the late 1920s, appealed to women who wished to stay thin. In the 1920s, advertising took on new importance as mass consumption drove the U.S. economy. American business perfecting methods to make people believe that they needed new goods, created sophisticated campaigns in print and on radio airwaves. Advertisement of the 1920s perfecting methods to draw on insights from psychology and anthropology to shift Americans away from traditional values of thrift toward borrowing and spending on non-essential personal items. Savvy copywriters used market research to understand what they called the mass man and the typical. Okay, next one. Fordlandia rubber workers. Rubber workers gather for another day's working. Ford imposed Detroit style industry regimentation in Fordlandia. It became a town of factory vistos, time clocks, efficiency, and a rigorous work schedule regardless of drenching downpours and 105-degree temperatures. Brazilian workers rebelled against their rigid aligned system. Rebels and strikes marked the first few years and came to a head in 1930. Frustrated workers shouting, "Brazil for Brazilians! Kill all the Americans!" smashed the time clock and demolished numerous buildings, the dining room, and every Ford truck and car on the plantation. Okay. Oh, sorry. The fifth one, this diagram. This should note the impact of immigration restrictions in the 1920s, which targeted specific ethnic groups, drastically diminished the number of immigrants from 805,000 in 1921 to 280,000 in 1929. Lighting American labor. The 1920s began with ominous signs that Americans were handing their bills about who could enter the United States. An economic downturn and rising numbers of immigrants converged in 1920 to 1921, and long simmering racial tensions and religious protests catalyzed legislative change. With the passage of the Emergency Immigration Act of 1921, Congress created specific immigration limitations based on national origin. The act banned all immigration from Asia and placed quotas on European immigration that allowed free immigration from the Western Hemisphere. Okay, the next one is this. This sheet music, "We Are All Loyal Klansmen," produced in 1923, reflects the widespread appeal of the Ku Klux Klan in the 1920s. Rhythm merged with anti-immigrant sentiment in a revived Ku Klux Klan (KKK) 3K. The Klan of the Reconstruction era resurfaced in the 1920s with a new anti-immigrant, anti-Catholic, anti-Jewish message. Klan membership peaked in 1925 at about 5 million. That year, 40,000 robbed members paraded down Washington's Pennsylvania Avenue. 3K. Okay, next one, Cotton Club. The Cotton Club, the world-famous Cotton Club, opened in the heart of Harlem in 1923, featured some of the greatest jazz and blues artists of the day, including Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway, but allowed only white patrons. Despite an atmosphere of repression, African Americans made some notable progress in the 1920s. Harlem, a largely black section of New York City, came to epitomize the vibrant black artistic and literary culture that flourished in the 1920s, product of the ongoing migration of blacks, both from the South as well as from the West. In this, the Harlem Renaissance helped construct a new identity for Black Americans. The new Negro who exuded self-confidence, bowed to no one, and confronted reason visited hand on. The Cotton Club, Harlem's most famous nightclub, captured a fascination with exotic and authentic black culture. Next one, about women. Just as jazz signified the 2090s, the flapper symbolized a new woman of that decade. She wore short skirts, cultivated a boyish finger, rubbed her cheeks, bobbed her hair, and turned down her flesh-colored stockings. She smoked cigarettes in public, drank alcohol, danced shaming in jazz clubs, and flirted openly with her male playmates. Notions of marriage also changed significantly in the 1920s. Companionate marriage emphasized husband and wives as friends. In addition, romance and sexual pleasure were viewed as necessary ingredients for a successful marriage. For the first time, sex manual rejecting older notions that sex for women was a necessary evil to be endured, stress female pleasure. The last one, Prohibition. Read. New York City Deputy Police Commissioner John A. Leach was aged pure liquor into a severe falling a redrawn. Prohibition forbade the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors. Although prohibition put neighborhood saloons out of business, illegal spaces flourished. Nevertheless, Joyce defended prohibition for driving down the rate of alcohol consumption. Best countered that prohibition drove drinking underground and penalized those unable to afford the high prices charged by speakeasies. Prohibition also, they argued, encouraged the consumption of hard liquor over beer and wine and promoted the rise of organized crime and violent criminals. Such as A.I. Capone, who supplied booze to a thirsty public. Despite the controversy, prohibition grew into an international movement. Several Canada provinces restricted the consumption of alcohol at roughly the same time as the United States, but cries for repeal rose more quickly there. Prohibition also changed U.S. relations with its neighbors. Tourists flocked to Cuba to patronize cushions and brothels owned by American gunters and well-stocked with liquor. Mexico and Canada become sources for smuggled whiskey. The province of Ontario as well as Quebec, which did not ban alcohol, became major suppliers of Canada whiskey. Distillers north of the border produced liquor that was more tasting and not as physically harmful as some of the deadly concoctions made by